So in this video, what I'm going to be doing is taking what Airtable AI Cobuilder did and turn it into an actual demo that I'm going to be able to use. So this is a creative operations workflow is what this is meant to be. So I originally called it design operations. This is really creative project management. I also already renamed this to be creative request form. So a few things just stand out to me, like submission date in here. This is actually going to be the created date. Let's see, requests come in here. Submission date, this is going to be the created date. So actually usually what I end up doing when this gets started is I usually come in here and edit all this stuff on like this side of Airtable first, and then I worry about the interfaces. So like this request ID, we're going to add an auto number field. And then this is going to become REQ dash and then ID. If you want the leading zeros, then what we can do is add, there's a formula called rept that's going to repeat 0. And then you need to know how many times. So take, let's say 4 minus len of ID. Let's see if that works. Not quite. I think it's because ID is technically a number field. So we need to make it text. There we go. So the benefit of that is once you get to 10, it stays a 4-digit code. And now I'm going to delete those records, but next time I add one, it's going to start at 11. So that's the nice thing about this auto number field. It keeps things unique. Creative director, project manager, all this stuff is ideally, these are all going to be in this same table. And then there's going to be a role field. If you're part of AI Labs, nope, take that back. It's not going to do it today. So a role field is going to say creative, and I wish they defaulted it to a different colorway for these first few. Let's pick some cooler colors. So these first people were creative directors. Then we just imported project managers. And our last one is to import designers. So I'm just going to highlight all those, come over here. If you watched the AI Cobuilder table or video, you would have known I asked for it to put all of these in the same one, but it just did not want to today. So let's see. We have team, their projects. Yeah, so these should become projects, not just requests, because when they originally come in, they are requests, but once they start, they become a project. So let's call this creative projects. So I'll call it CP and then the number. So let's see, project managers, they're assigned to those projects. Then the designers are assigned to those. Everybody's assigned to reports. Where it does look like the project managers are assigned to some tasks. And are designers assigned to tasks? Yes, they are. Sweet. So we'll paste that in. Okay. And this last guy didn't have anything assigned to him. I'm not sure why, so I'm going to delete him. Now when I come here, let's see. This is good, except I think when I delete these tables over here, it's going to mess up those fields. Let's just delete those, get that, kind of rip off the Band-Aid on that one. And now projects, this needs to be linked to team. This needs to be linked to team. And this is already linked to team, so we're good there. But what I would do is I filled these all in. I should not have done that. And let's actually just have just one creative director in this case. I think that's more reasonable. So let's take this from all of those creative directors to just one. So one creative director, 4 project managers. Actually, 2 for a team of 5 designers. 4 project managers may be a little bit overkill, so let's just go with 2. When you create these, it's going to rename these incorrectly. So what you can do is you can click show dependencies if you're on an enterprise plan. If you're not, then you can click delete field and you can see what the field was named over here. So usually the way that I name these is projects as assigned PM. And then let's show dependencies here. This one is projects as, I do as lowercase and then assigned developer. And actually, I usually don't even like to use the word assign, just as the role name, then as the role name. Okay, now this can be deleted because we're at the creative, that was for creative directors. These are ideally going to be pictures of people. Let's go to projects. Okay. So I think this is pretty good. The only one where I'm not really sold on it is reports. So let's actually just delete that. We have projects and tasks. Eventually, we're going to need to come in here and create something called task templates. I've done many videos on task templates, but we're going to have to create a table around that, as well as an automation to generate task templates. These assigned tos right here. Looks like we have this team field. So we're going to be able to delete this assigned to. I like to use the word DRI here. This is directly responsible individual. Due date, priority. Again, would love to have some better colors here. So we're going to say high, medium, and low. Status. Let's get some good colorways here as well. To do, in progress, review, and complete. It's usually the colors I go with. Subtasks, we're just going to delete that for now. Comments is going to happen on the commenting record, so we're going to delete that for now. Attachments, project managers, don't need that. So tasks, they're just assigned to one person. Well, some of these are assigned to multiple people. I don't mind for this demo to adjust that. This looks pretty good as well now. This is when the project's due, priority status, assigned PM, designer. So team, this field type should be an email. This field type should be a phone number, not single line text. I deleted that reports table, so we don't need that. If I wanted to just future-proof this, I could say as DRI, because maybe you're assigned to a task as a reviewer, or maybe we have a multiple stage approval process. So yeah, TBD on that. Well, actually, let's just say, just to make things simple for the demo, let's link to the team and have a reviewer. Reviewer can only be one person. If I come back here, now we should look at tasks. This is tasks as reviewer. Okay, so I think this looks pretty good now. All of our field types are right. We'd maybe have some cooler colors on this. The attachments on the people could be better. They could be headshots, but I think this is pretty much it now. We haven't created any task templates. So now if I go into these interfaces, a bunch of this is going to be broken. So this is where Airtable AI Cobuilder still has a little bit of work to do. I'm guessing in some of my detail pages, the stuff is going to be broken. So you just, after you do all of that, you just want to come in here to some of these and like fix up some of the detail pages. So like when I click into this, sweet, nothing bad happened in there. When I click into this, just come delete the bad fields. If there's any interfaces that have glaring issues, delete the interfaces. This one, like delete that one. This one, delete that one. This one we're going to call team because that switched now from just creative directors to alt team. I'm going to rename these to the proper names. Capitalization is one thing that I really like to get right in this usually. I added some new fields in here, so I would want to see role in here, maybe even up at the front, and maybe even grouped by role. My personal preference is also to see this as a grid view instead of list. If you want a grid view, click in the white space up here, click on this and click grid instead. Now requests come in here. This is who the stakeholder is. Request gallery. I don't think I need a gallery view of the request right now. Timeline will be relevant, so other than it's broken right now. All right, let's delete that for now. Request Kanban. Submitted, in progress. I feel like there should be a complete one. For some reason that didn't come through. Add request. I don't want it to go to that form, so you're going to want to switch it to the form builder. So how I would do that is I would publish this form, snag the link. So anybody on the web can use this. I'm going to copy the link, go back into the editor mode, to the interface, to the request, click on add request instead of open record creation form, go to interface, go to external URL. That one, open it in a new tab, that's perfect. And I also want to swap out this one. So that is nice. Add task, I think I'm fine with that for now. I think a lot of this is going to change. Task timeline could be useful if I group it by the request. Wait, are tasks not linked to requests? How did that not happen? Okay. Well, that's a important thing. Tasks are absolutely linked to projects or requests. And let's just fill in some of the data for now. So one cool thing, if you have patterns in your data and you want to use the little plus thing that Excel has, if you, in the bottom right of a field, you can like drag it down to create a pattern. That way in this, I can say, look at everything grouped by the project. And isn't that beautiful? Okay, task Kanban. I think that's good, other than maybe I don't want attachments in here. Timeline good, gallery. We'll keep it. I actually like the gallery view if I look at one of these. So like if I want to open this up, I'm going to choose to make this a full screen ad. And I want to come down here and add the tasks in here. Whoa, Something's going on. Tasks, I want to switch to a view. One of the views that I want to enable is a gallery view. So if I now come switch to the gallery view, I want to see here's all the assets for this request. Publish that. So a few different interfaces that we're going to need. The team one is going to be visible for all three stakeholders. I think that's fine. Requests is going to be, we're going to make this work for creative directors. I'm going to show right now how I'm going to make the permissions work for all of these people if you want to do conditional permissions. So we actually are going to link to creative director. On each of these, on each of these fields, we're going to look up their email. And that's what we're going to run permissions off of. Let's see. So we're going to use an automation and say when a record matches conditions. Well, actually, let's just say when a record is created in the projects table, choose a record, update that record in the projects table with the record ID. In the middle here, let's go find the record in the team table based on a condition whereby the person's role is creative director. And I want to update that creative director field with the find records here of the Airtable record ID. Link all requests to creative director. So later on, I'm going to add another find records in here. So this is creative director. The purpose of this one is going to be proper PM. Also, if you want a copy of the space, I guess leave a comment. I may pin a comment if I get enough comments asking for the space. But for now, I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to set a rule in another video on how to set this as a default so it links to the proper PM. But this is everything so far. So I think these interfaces are in a much better place now. Ideally, our requests interface is going to be able to be used by everybody. Maybe that and tasks. So we may call that one like project management. And then there's definitely going to be an interface specifically just for the PMs and the creative directors so that they can see their like performance and stats. That's, I think, kind of one of the things that was missing from this when I did the AI Cobuilder. So that's everything so far. Pretty much everything I typically edit as soon as I start a base from Airtable AI Cobuilder is what I just showed. But now these interfaces work. They're cleaned up. The capitalization bugs me slightly on these. Usually I would want it to come in here. Like it has some things properly capitalized, but for whatever reason, it always says that these like page types here are not worthy of being capitalized. So if you want to keep watching, click the video here in the end screen, and I'm going to keep building on this, probably doing some automations around assigning the right people and doing task templates. So if you're interested in that, click on the video on the end screen. And if you want a copy of the base, I guess throw a comment. If I get enough comments again, I'll give a copy of this.